And a warm welcome to everybody that's joining us. We've got people all over the world. We are live streaming our Friday in the Arms of Eternity with Scott Milligan. My name is Sandra Champlain, and wherever you are in the world, just a very, very warm welcome. Each Friday for almost the past 2 years, we've come together to sit, and we start off with our eyes closed as Scott leads us into what's called a sitting for healing. And we are all quite aware of what is happening in the world. And whether we believe it or not, those times where we send love, we send prayer, when we quiet our mind, when we sit in mindfulness, even when we smile and feel joy, that good energy is being used for healing. So I know there's many people that have signed names of loved ones and themselves to be in our healing guest book. You don't need to have a name in there. You just remember that person while we're doing this. So Scott will start off by leading us into what seems like a meditation, but it's not quite. And after some time, we just ask you to quiet your mind, go along with the words. Don't try to force it. Don't try to be anywhere. Just try to be in the moment. And if thoughts come, we'll just let them go. And then at a certain point, Scott will stop talking. Scott is also a trance medium. And what that means is, well, for now, just about 25 years, he has had a commitment with the spirit world in which he has trained, and he has spent probably just as much time with his eyes closed, sitting on behalf of the spirit world, as he has with his eyes open. And it's all done with love. We all have spirit friends that work with us. And of course, our loved ones are around also. But as a trance medium, one of the gentlemen, normally gentlemen, there's some ladies too that are in the spirit world that work along with Scott. They are able to blend with his energy and actually use his vehicle, so to speak, and talk to us. They are very profound conversations. Typically, they start with words of inspiration, and then typically it goes to a question and answer period. And I say typically because every demonstration of trance mediumship is experimental. So we never know, but that's typically what happens. And if you are someone who is in our Zoom room right now, you are welcome to ask questions. And when I say questions, questions are topics that are related to life and death and the afterlife. Questions that you may ask that they will apply to everybody in our virtual room. Okay, so if there's a personal question, how does spiritual healing work? I want to send some to my Aunt Bessie. You know, you might ask the question, how does spiritual healing work if we all wish to send healing to someone in the world or something like that? I'm more than happy to ask your questions on behalf of you. So in the Q&A box, if you'd like me to ask your question, just say, Sandra, could you ask this question? Our spirit friends are friends. They really are. I know the first time I was at a demonstration, I felt quite intimidated. I'm sure Scott probably did too when he got into this, but they're friends. So if you'd like to ask your question, which we invite because it's nice to hear your voice, you will see that you're next up to ask your question. I will press a button on my side that says, on your side, the host would like to promote you to panelist, and just say yes. You don't have to put your camera on, but you'll know the moment, and I'll ask you if you could ask your question. So we do not use our raise hand button while we're here today. And if you're also joining us and you're thinking it looks a little different, normally I can see the other participants. Well, we're doing something called a Zoom webinar. And so we typically go over 100 people for our demonstrations, or even if we don't, sometimes we do, we want to be prepared. And so using that feature, you don't get to see everybody, which is okay. But trust me, we know you're here and we are so grateful. I've been a longtime afterlife explorer. I'm the host of 2 radio shows on the afterlife, also the author of the book, We Don't Die, A Skeptic's Discovery of Life After Death. And I know when I met Scott and his spirit team several years ago that this is something we need to share, and how important our prayers and sitting is for those in the spirit world, and also as far as distant healing. So I'll let Scott say a few more words in his voice, and then we'll get started. Over to you, Scott.
Thank you, Sandra, and a very warm welcome wherever you are in the world and in however way we are linking up. I do believe that that when people like you and I get together and put to one side our wants and desires and make ourselves available for the unseen, magic can truly touch this world once again. I was speaking to a couple of you just now, and I am truly lost for words for what is happening in Europe. I truly am. I never expected in my life to see and to hear things that are happening, which most of us have seen in history books. Some people have seen this in their lifetime before, and sadly, history is repeating itself. I am conscious and I'm fully aware that there are other things happening in the world, and I want to keep these thoughts open so that we can give healing to where it's needed. Ordinarily, we would like to sit and allow you to touch that inner peace so that any thoughts that you have about your development are being blessed within that moment and hopefully are starting to reach a place where they are unfolding naturally. It's interesting to see how Sandra, where she is within the world, she's got a virtual background which looks like a place of peace, and a little person standing just over her shoulder, standing in the rays of light. I wonder if you and I will ever see that place physically and touch it and walk through it and enjoy the peace that that person must be experiencing when that photograph was taken. I wondered how many people played a part in building that natural forest by respecting the earth and respecting that place. And did they believe that when they planted the seed, that this tree would grow and stand for many years to come? So we don't know what thoughts we will place today and where they will grow and where they will be when we are no longer here physically, you and I. Maybe our efforts today can just dampen a fire of misunderstanding, and turn it into peace. So I don't necessarily want to talk too much because I feel we're moving to our flow, and I want you just to kind of kick your shoes off, unfasten anything that's tight on your being, and just relax, and just sit and just allow for 90 minutes or so for you to go crazy. And I mean crazy in the sense of not having structure, not having Mr. and Mrs. Control Freak sitting on your shoulders and saying it has to be done like this or it has to be done like that. Let's just tear the rule book up and just sit and trust in the voice that comes, that is dusted with love, and whatever voices come, which is dipped in the oil of compassion. And let us be the true spiritualists that walk upon earth, where we don't have to have titles. We are spiritual because we care and we want to help. And this is our way of helping. So if you want to darken your room by turning down the lights, because I'm going to dull down the lights because I look more attractive in darkness. Pitch black, I'm absolutely gorgeous, but we're going to dull the lights down because some of you are sitting in darkness and having a screen on. It can be quite bright for your eyes. So I'm going to dull my lights down. And as I do so, I want us to make ourselves available for whatever thoughts are to come. Okay? So Sandra's going to test some music for us.
All right. And ladies and gentlemen, if you can hear that music, just press your raise hand button. Wonderful. Thank you.
See, turning down a dial has taken years off me. Thank you.
Beautiful inside and out. Okay, over to you, Scott. Thank you all for being here. We really appreciate it.
So everyone, wherever you may be, let us meet in the darkness of your mind by closing your eyes. Closing your eyes just for a moment. And feel the natural rhythm of the rise and fall of the breath. As you breathe in love, you breathe out peace. The shared breath that keeps us here, connected as one. And maybe in this time, we must remind each of us that we are one. One with the earth. One with each other. For tonight, our brothers and sisters are in pain. Crippled by fear. You may feel alone. With each country of the world holds a flag of pride, decorated by different colors, but sewn with the same thread. The thread of peace. Through the hands of love. With that thought and with these words, bring peace to your mind. By allowing every thought to fall to its place of rest. No matter where it comes from. But it will find peace. For your life was born in love, and your body will rest in peace. For as you find this moment where your heart beats, we contemplate these words, hoping for the unseen ears to hear the threads of love. Let us drink the milk of human kindness. and bathe in the yoke of compassion. For we hold the light, and we carry a voice. A voice that gives birth to peace. For our hands are anointed with the healing balm. And we send those thoughts to all life. For if they sleep in their houses, may their house bring them safety. And shield them from the pain of this world. For if they sleep underground, may they feel the warmth and love, so that they can sleep free and be lost in dreams. Let words be their weapon, but also be their shield. And if they are to use machinery, that can inflict harm, may this love and good thoughts stop the machine from working. Or to sink deeper into the mud. To allow peace more time. And the fire of misunderstanding burn out. For as we think of brothers and sisters, we must also think of animals that were held with love and let go by fear. May kind hearts find them, and gentle hands hold them. There are many words that are shared that echo the one thought of peace. We ask so much, and we hope for so much. For only peace can bring happiness. And joy. So allow your mind to softly drift where it rests is within your hands. Yeah. I come to speak with brothers and sisters of your world, not to carry any sadness, but to deliver good medicine for your world. For men and women of your world who find sadness, we come to give you hope that our world is now walking with your people. We have seen so much and felt so much pain. To see the iron arrows that sound loud than thunder and move as fast as the great wind. Our world is bringing hope. These arrows do not work in unkind hands. Your white father that tells his children, this father needs good medicine. As the words in which he speaks is from a place of sickness, a place of darkness, a place of misunderstanding. Your love is the medicine to make him feel, make him see through his eyes. So he tells his children to walk hand with brother. There are places of your world where others walk in shadows and whisper lies and do not help to bring medicine. These people need our love. As this that has turned to war has made your world once again fall into darkness. But as the curtain is drawn to cover the light, there is hope. For only when the sun rests, you see the stars that shine. To remind all people that there will always be light in the darkest of places. Your world speaks with ours, and our world gives what we have: kindness, good words, strength for those who are weak to stand, medicine to the sick, wisdom to those who have lost their way, so they find the path that will lead them to peace. For I have shared many words of how my world walks with yours. And I have shared many words for the wars that we have seen, for my people who lived in peace, gave to our mother, and walked with our Father across our lands, from one place where the sun rises to a place where the sun set. We met our brothers who helped clothe our people, fed our people, shared their fire with my people. We did not see what your white father sees. For if we were to take from our mother, we would give back to our mother. If my father was to fall, we would honor and take a piece of the hair, burn it in fire to thank our Father for life that has walked on earth. For if we were met with misunderstanding and war came, we called out. For if our mother was to feel the blood, for when the war was done, we would honor the braves that stood in front and made us strong. We brought peace to all life. Your world has changed and now may not respect life. For if one is to fall, the one that broke would be forgotten. This brings sadness to our hearts, that life in your world has no meaning. For if you are to fight, fight for your brother, for your sister. So it inspires others, but never end the light. You can fight with kindness, compassion. For we walk to the beat of our Father's drum, walk to the beat of peace. You have come to sit in the circle of love. For the circle to be of love, You must give of yourself. That makes the circle strong. The circle has no beginning nor end. Like life has no beginning nor end. These are the simple words that my world wishes to share with the good people who must walk through the shadows to bring the light for many.
Thank you.
Sandra, my dear, I trust that you are well.
I am very well, Eric. Thank you.
As we have been summoned by love to understand once again, the voice of many comes to address you. Even know that you have come to identify there are many thoughts that are aiding this communication for all of you, as we too have been called to serve, to help bring peace to your world. For those who are more seasoned to our usual proceedings, you may recognize a change in our communication with you. For each of us who walk alongside the one we love, we too are walking unseen in your world, as many thoughts have asked, and we will respond. So, my friends, if the voice begins to break, don't listen to its sound. Listen to the words that we bring and allow it to rest where it needs. And allow your thoughts to be inspired for you to then stand and be strong for others who may be sheltering from the storm that rages. For as we have said, prior to the knowledge that unrest is here, some minds went to other thoughts. But of course, my friends, you have seen and heard from each other of how certain countries seem to be working against each other instead of working for each other. So, as we rest these thoughts with you, let us continue and follow our usual practice to its end. So, Sandra, my dear, let us proceed in the usual manner.
Wonderful. Thank you, Eric. And to those that join you, Eric, I'd like to start by asking a question on behalf of our friend Linda.
And I trust that they are well.
Yes, thank you. She says, Dear Eric, I am a spiritual person, and every day I pray for healing for what's happening in the world. My greatest concern is if there is bombs that hit the nuclear power plants, will this be the end of mankind and for all the other life on the planet? I am so afraid of the innocent people, the children, the animals. I am so afraid for the future of my child. Will the spirit world help to stop it happening?
Like we have always done, my friend, we will do our best within the natural law and capability. But to remember, my friend, we did not cause this, mankind caused it. And therefore we will give as much strength as we can. We are already trying and supporting what we can. For you have seen already that long lines of machinery cannot move through the natural, from the ground that is sodden. The wheels are heavy. What this machinery needs to move is starting to run dry, and therefore this machinery is just hollow shells. We are doing all that we can. You speak of spirituality and giving your duty for the strength of love and healing to penetrate the minds of those who make decisions. But if fear moves with you, it feeds the beast. It is nature for one to feel fear, but change that fear to passion, that you will continue to remain focused by giving all that you can to bring light and positivity to your world. Of course, my friends, throughout history, you have seen what has been made by man, that you can hold within your hand, can annihilate many people in your world. Mankind has continued to thrive, even though that so many have fallen in your world and rises within ours, as it is the death of the physical body, not the soul that becomes the spirit. We have been with you and will remain with you until the duty is done for mankind. I do not see the 4 horsemen of the apocalypse on you, but I do see someone who is insane, but elected by the people. If insanity is a sickness, then your healing thoughts can heal it. Bring them back from confusion and allow them to see the world as it truly is. But many people have already suffered, and many more will continue to suffer. But from the ashes, mankind will rise, will bring the best in humanity. You have already seen families extending their arms and saying, even though we have not met, stand in the warmth of my family, sleep sweetly, let us heal you. And from that, the spark of kindness ignites to the fire that will burn through negativity and will be more powerful than anything you have seen under your sun. And peace will come. But my friend, this has had to happen because man has allowed it to happen. For a dictator to have an iron fist grasp around the throats of many, that someone must fall from their ivory tower. For you have already seen, inspired, that one person inspired peace, by walking amongst the people. As we have said, the shepherd who leads must smell of his flock, while the other one stands at arm's length and speaks in a room where there is no air of peace. What do you do with these words I have shared with you? Don't allow them to turn to stone in your heart. Inspired by this, you sit and focus your intent for all life. Even those who you may find hard to look and to listen and to love, they are the ones that will need it the most. You may say to me, but who will be the reckoning? For after these lives have ended, he will move to our world, of course he will. But none of you will ever see him. For what he has done and continued to do has made the portrait of his life bleed with any bright colors of happiness. But I am no prophet, but I have seen the effects of cause from the actions today you will feel tomorrow. It is like what you have ingested must be digested. So this person and others who whisper, who believes to be untouchable, he is being held by many hands. It was always meant to inspire fear for what he's about and continues to do. Fear is the greatest weapon. It can afflict so much, but it may not end the life. It may prolong the life of someone who is scared of their shadow, scared to walk amongst the streets where they used to play. Try, my friends, wherever possible, to have love and thoughts to bring peace. A leader must inspire. A bully commands and becomes a dictator and takes away free will. If you take away free will, my friends, then what is the purpose of being named as an individual? So, my friends, there are people of my world who are already doing what they can to ensure machinery does not work, ensuring that the maps in which they follow, because the land is foreign to them, cannot be read. They are met by kind people, like mothers and fathers, that will remind those who have gone for war, go back in peace. Sandra, my dear, is that pleasing for you?
Yes, thank you very much, Eric. We have our friend Alan, and Alan, I believe Eric answered your question, but I thought you might have a follow-up question.
Hi.
Hello, my dear boy. I trust that you are well.
I'm very well, thank you. Yes, my question you just answered, but really the question is, does the spirit world have the ability to stop mankind doing what he's doing? This one person could kill 1 million people if this nuclear bomb goes off. Do you have the ability to stop things happening, or mankind will just suffer? It's no choice in the matter.
We do have power within your world, but it's up to mankind to make decision. For many disasters that you have seen within your world, there is always stories of hope. For machinery not to work, that delay them from their situations, so they do not reach their destination on what they presume to be their time. We have tried to influence technology, aided by others of my world who have the knowledge of this technology. We have influenced it because, my friends, it has no soul. And therefore we have influence upon it. Then we have influence upon the mind. But remember, my friends, we cannot tell you what you should do. It is your decision. But we have to support the outcome. For instance, if you make the decision for peace, we support peace. If you have made a decision that has caused suffering, we come to support and aid, so there is no suffering, by giving healing. But it is your choice, it is your decision, and this is why we have said it is your world. Make what you can from it. But we have had to die to realize that certain decisions we have made did not benefit. So therefore we have come to inspire you, so that you will pursue a path of peace. You will hear in the coming days that certain ammunition seems to look and do what it's meant to do, but it doesn't. You will also know that machinery that is sodden, it will not work. Others of my world have tried to influence the environment, so it becomes bitterly cold. So, my friends, that the people who are standing and walking the streets have to seek shelter and warmth, so that we are trying to delay, so we are giving mankind the opportunity to find peace. But what do you do with a disobedient child? You should always take their toys away. So, my friends, you are seeing through your own senses what has been happening but been hidden for a long time. You're seeing the man for what they are. Someone who has realized that the toy in which they want a country doesn't want to be owned, and therefore he's thrusting his fists. Sadly, I say this to you, he may claim victory, but he will never be welcomed. He will never walk those streets. he will not see the sun rise in that country. But we also must consider, as I am no prophet, that if he comes to our world by the hand of another, before his own people accept, then they will retaliate. So, my friend, sometimes wisdom comes through the bitter words. We have influence, my friend, but you in your world has the decisions. If they are receptive to thought, and may I remind you that all of you are born, but none of you are born with hatred in your heart. It's something that you grow into. And I pray that you grow out of. But the spark within certain people of your world is so buried. Your healing thoughts of love helps the light to be discovered. And what was buried will rise to the surface. And that light we can inspire. But it will be their decision if they turn left or turn right. So, my friend, Alan, is that pleasing for you?
Yes, thank you. It's nice to know that something is possibly going to be done to save many thousands of lives.
May I say this to you? We have had conversations before, my friend, and you must have witnessed over the last few times that I've been able to address, there has been a change to my thoughts. Because, my friend, there is an aspect of me that is walking the streets and doing my duty. And there are others who are supporting and doing all that they can. Until it ceases, that I will return as the main voice of those who walk with the one we love. You will have my commitment that I will do what I can within the natural law and through free will of your people. If that is pleasing, my dear boy, let us move along.
Thank you. Thank you very much.
Thank you, Alan. Thank you, Eric. We have Karen with us. Hi, Karen.
Hi, Sandra. Hello, good evening, Eric. Hello.
Hello, my dear. I trust that you are well.
Yes, I am, Eric. It's lovely to speak to you again. I have a question, Eric. Sometimes when I am working myself, giving communication, and sometimes when I receive communication, I am given predictions of the future. And I know that sometimes these do not always come to pass. Can you talk a bit more about why we are given predictions and the reliability of them?
Well, my friend, may I say this to you? There are certain times in your world that one may see round the corner, but you have time to change your ways or indeed run towards it. I have often said, give mankind the opportunity to see so much, they may fear what is to come or miss opportunities along the way. Could you not thank God, however you see God to be, that certain predictions do not come true? It doesn't mean that you have failed. It just means that it has been able to be changed. What you see is potential. And what you can deliver, instead of saying, I see this for you, there is a potential to the story that I tell you. It may or may not come to pass. If it is meant to be in your destiny, then one will see it. If it is not, then it will fall away as an experience that never came to pass. We have said to you on numerous occasions, and we spoke about the virus before it was known. We were giving you the thoughts so that you knew that we are already preparing your world. And mankind has an opportunity to change their course. For something which was not meant to be ingested was taken. If I was to say to you of a prediction and it didn't come to pass, would you lose faith in what I have shared with you, even though that some may have trusted the words that have been shared with you? Or would you thank God, however you see God to be, that I was wrong because another decision was made? For predictions, my friends, not always come from our side of life. It can come from your soul. Who has, may I say, could have presented the opportunity to one? And also when we have whispered, it may have been reflected to the ears in a different capacity. And that is why, my friends, sometimes it is better for us to keep our words in brown paper instead of wrapping it in pretty paper. Because, my friends, people may misunderstand the gift that we have given. They may think it to just be something else, when in actuality it's just a reminder that we know what your world is feeling. So you can say, I have these words of a potentiality. If it comes to pass, then so be it. If it does not, something greater may come that will bring you a better smile. There is often warmth with words that are shared. Some words can heal you and others can destroy you. Words are simple reminders of how they can be used but misunderstood. Karen, my dear, is that pleasing for you?
No, let's
Yes, thank you. Thank you, Eric.
You are indeed most welcome, my dear. With your kind permission, let us move along.
Yes, thank you, Eric.
Thank you, Karen. Thank you, Eric. We have Ryan with us. Hello, Ryan.
Hi, how are you?
Hello, my friend. I trust that you are well.
I am, Eric. Thank you so much, and thanks for being with us today. My question is, on Earth, we have memories because time has passed and moments have happened, so we carry those memories with us. I just wondered, how do you gain memories in the spirit world?
May I say this to you? As the left foot has reflected one thing, shall I say what the right foot may experience? We have experience, not bound by time. And from that experience, we learn from it. In our world, you have experiences to further your understanding. How it is received is up to you if you class it to be a positive experience or an experience for you to understand in a much more deeper capacity. Your world is imprisoned and conformed by time. Time was man-made, and you can disagree with time constantly. For what time is in America is different to the United Kingdom. You're speaking at the same time, but it reflects differently. So, my friend, I say this to you. It is greatly liberating for when one is free from the imprisonment of time. If you look at situations in your world, much stress has come from the punishment seconds that has turned to minutes into hours. For the sun to rise and fall counts the days of your life, but time has to repeat itself. Time does not move forward, it only returns. And that is why, my friend, a broken clock is only right twice a day. So as you live your life, you gain these wonderful experiences that you will hold deeply in your memories. In our world, you have experiences so that you can then continue to further your progression, but not bound by a schedule that if you do not meet this requirement within this allotted period, then you would miss the opportunity or you'll be punished for it. It is difficult for one to see the world that is not in time, but you saw it once before when you were a child, getting lost in the days as one plays with the mud and paddles in the streams of your world, getting lost in your imagination. And then one starts to grow and taught that time must be learned. Sometimes, my friend, the most enjoyable time you have within your world is something that was not planned. You have fallen away from the hands of time and spontaneously said, I'm going to do this, not that. So we gain experience, my friend, but we have the patience. Time does not exist. If I can say to you to give many thoughts the opportunity to experience my world, there has been a period of time since I last addressed you and addressed this world, and many days have passed. To myself, it has merely been 2 breaths in before I have returned to speak with you. I have observed a cricket match that started when I arrived and still continues because it is a summer's afternoon to me. And I am aware now as I return and retrace my steps, for over 100 years have passed and has only felt like a moment. Think, my friend, go back to when you were 6 years old and then return it. You think, where's all the time gone? But when a 6-year-old thinks and moves their mind forward to their age today, you think this is a long time. So, my friend, when you look forward, it can take your breath away by saying, that's going to take me a long time to get there. But when you look back, you think, where is it all gone? In our world, we don't lose our breath looking forward, but we enjoy where we are. And that in itself allows our spirit to become more refined and accustomed to the vibration where we are. Knowledge is a wonderful thing for one to devour. For you to accept what may not be achieved today can be attained tomorrow. That will alleviate the stress that mankind places on itself. I must do it now. Why? Could you not learn to enjoy the process? So that when someone else says, how did you overcome it? You can take them under your wing and say, this is what I've learned. They may be impatient, of course, but time may set them free or imprison them for more. So you may have memory, we have experience, but we are only a reflection of who you are. For one day you come to our world and you will stretch and you will feel at peace to enjoy the summer lands and attain vast knowledge that you will instantly retain throughout the layers and vibrations of our world. So Ryan, my dear boy, is that pleasing for you?
Incredibly. Thank you, Eric.
With your kind permission, my dear boy, I will never say goodbye to you, because I do believe we will have another conversation when your time allows it.
Thank you.
I jest, of course. Let us continue.
Of course. Thank you, Ryan. Eric, I'd like to ask a question on behalf of our friend Julie.
And I trust that they are well.
Yes, thank you. She's asking, what is the best or most helpful advice a person can give to people that are grieving?
Well, my friend, to have the honest conversation. Your world changes to grief, you know, because people don't know what to say to someone who is suffering. Someone may need inspiring so that they can brush their teeth in the morn. Some may need assistance to get their groceries. We cannot impose upon your world the truths of our reality. It is something that someone will come to when they are ready to receive. You can share your beliefs with others, which has turned to your knowing. But they may say it is preposterous, and anger may come to the tone of their voice. Why would you say something like that? Would it not be more prudent for you not to give advice, but to be the listening ear, so that someone can talk about their experience, shout and scream, laugh and cry? Let them talk about it. Choose words that can enrich the conversation. For have you not yourself experienced your dark day, and you don't want to listen? But is it not more benefit to have someone who just sits there and says, what do you need? And let them talk. And when they have talked, and when they have shared, when they have laughed and when they have cried, you can offer your thoughts. In my life, I have come to accept that death is not the end. Have you not seen a flower that has bloomed, has fallen, and then grows again? Have you not seen from the mighty tree seeds that fall and then grow again, that they grow differently? I would offer these words to you, but once again, it is up to you to organize them in the correct manner. If someone is in grief, they are in pain, they are suffering, they feel lost. Let them talk. And you can prepare a banquet for them and say, here, if you want to eat, please do so. And I will be patient and I will sit here. If you need to walk with them, walk with them. And let them find their way. So many people may misunderstand how to speak to someone who feels so broken. You don't know what to say, and you can say the wrong things. Sometimes, my friend, the wisest is to listen and say, what would this person say to you if they were here now? And then remind them that the one that has stepped to our world only wanted to see the person smile and be happy throughout their life. My husband would want the best for me. He would say, come along here, dry yourself. My child would always want to see me happy. My mother always wanted the best for me and protected me from all and told me never to be sad. So what would your mother say to you this day? Not to be sad. Remind yourself of that, my friend, as your mother lives through you, as what she has shared has made you who you are. And so, my friend, as like before, I was speaking about the left foot, we can talk about the right foot. Some people are happy to see the back of them because they know this is the way they grieve. We have seen it often. And if you are able to speak with young Daniel, who is at this moment occupied, he would say to you, he had his fingers burnt once before with mother-in-laws. The mother-in-law always loved their child and wanted the best for their child. You could say to the mother-in-law, I say, you have raised them beautifully. and I want the best for them as well. Work with me, not against me. I thank God that my dear wife's mother-in-law was kind, and her mother was kind to me. For the threads of love echo throughout our being. And that is how I would approach a thought that you have shared with me. Sometimes it's easier to listen. If the child finds it hard to speak, let them draw, let them write. Give them a toy that they can talk to and hold at night. Those are the words we offer to our dear friend Julia. I do apologize, Julie.
Thank you very much, Eric. Well, I would like to ask the next question. Eric, I often say to people that in the invisible world around them is so much support from your world. I know it's very easy to feel alone, to feel things are tough, and to feel like we've got to do this on our own. Could you speak to everyone about the support we have as humans from your world?
Of course, my friend, one must consider first of all that you have your family. You also have those who walk by your side like myself. When you came to this world, you had a mentor, and the mentor will be that there as well. You have the animals in which you have loved. You also have the animals that you're curious about. As they are attracted to the thoughts, I wonder what it would be like to touch them, to walk with them. So all life, no matter what form it has taken, will be there to support you. I don't want us to misunderstand the words that I'm sharing with you, but there are certain people of our world who may say, I don't know why you are fearing death, get on with it, because it will return you to us. But then you have someone like myself that says to you, go and find deeper knowledge, so that when you come to our side of life, you can share that deeper knowledge of your modern world. So we support you in every sense of the word, because, my friend, that the soul will mourn. The soul is experiencing this different way of life. And I say a way of life, my friend, because I want us to move away from separate worlds. Each of these vibrations coexist with each other. Our world is neither above or below you. It is amongst you. And that is why you can walk within our reality as we walk within yours. We support your world with knowledge. We don't turn our backs and say, well, you have to die to then find out. We present opportunities, but opportunities for you to disagree with us. Because, my friend, it then enables you to then revisit your answer, and for us to then expand upon what we have delivered. Have we delivered it in the right way? Or do we need to seek at the halls of learning a different approach to devour the inquiry? Sometimes, my friend, I have often said, there are no answers, there are only questions that will lead to a greater question. And that is another form of support. We are saying to you, we give you no answer, but we give you the opportunity to investigate. One must also consider, if your mind would allow this thought, that the plants in which you have nurtured, and some have sent on their way, they are still living vibrations, and therefore they are come to our side of life. They may be presented to you as like tokens for when you feel a time of sadness. Both veils will again give you support. We do not abandon you. You can abandon us for a period of time, but you will come to our world. That is a certainty. That is a certainty, my friend. And that is the only thing we can say to you. You are born to die, and what you do in between is up to you. But if you are to explore, let us walk with you and learn with you. So you are supporting us as we support you. In your darkest moment, we are there. But if the soul is buried, you cannot feel us. But it doesn't stop us digging as fast as we can, as strong as we can, to ensure as much as we can that we are touching you and you are responding to that touch. You can deny us. You can call us false. You can call us what you wish. But we will never abandon you. Even the one that may cause a grievous act of violence, one that is abandoned by society, we will not abandon. We will do what we can to support, for them to come to realize what they have done. We do not have the right to judge, my friends. There is not a bearded gentleman that sits upon a throne in judgment. The person that judges is you. You judge your life accordingly, and sometimes you are the most bitter and harshest judge of them all. So, my friend, we support you in every sense of the word. Like the sun does not discriminate who it shines for, but you may choose to bury yourself and hide within a room with no window. But the light will still shine if you wish to walk out. So, Sandra, my friend, as time is against me, is that pleasing for you?
It is very pleasing. Thank you, Eric.
With your kind permission, I will take one more inquiry.
Okay. I'll ask this on behalf of our friend Kathy.
I trust that they are well.
Yes. And she says, hello, Eric. If the earth ceases to exist, where would all of us go?
Well, quite simply, my friend, if the world stops, then you'll come to our side of life. It has always been that every person that is a drop of consciousness must go back to the one source. I have often used through the one we loved and said, you are a drop of rain, but you must return to the ocean. The world has been a place for the soul to experience human emotion. And once all life has crossed that stream, the world has served its benign purpose, and the state of familiarity, which is the place in which you come to at the moment of your death, will be the densest form of vibration until everyone moves into the second death, and then that has served its benign purpose. What happens when we all become one consciousness, pure consciousness, is beyond me, as we have not attained that knowledge, for where we are is just outside our reach. But my friend, where were you before the earth was born? You were in a vibration, and merely the flood of life came, and the souls were simply crossing the stream. The stream may turn to be a river, or it may be a valley of dust. One was full of life, one ceases to be, but it leaves a scar of where people have come from and what you have survived, what you have overcome. You have left your mark, and you've left it well. And that is why, my friends, I say this to you. How would you like to be remembered? Because you're only dead to this world if you're forgotten. So be kind, my friend. You could cast a very large shadow, and some will talk about it, and some will forget it. But you will be within our world, as that is a step towards the endless sunshine. So don't concern yourself if the world's going to stop. The world will stop, but your world will just begin, of a new experience with everyone that you have loved and missed today. You will be with them in the golden shores of our world. Dying is easy, living is difficult. It is easy for one to say once you have died, but that is the privilege and luxury for someone who has faced death and survived it. Many of your world are hurtling towards it with fear within your heart. Let me save and soothe that thought. That when your time comes, it is closing your eyes like a very rested sleep, what was calling to you. And the moment that you succumb to that feeling and close your eyes, you'll instantly wake up with a new zest of life, remembering all the good times of life, but being blinded by all the faces that have caused you to cry, and now cause you to laugh and smile and embrace one another. It is a glorious experience, but it is also a joyful thing to witness, to see the faces and to hear the conversation of joy. Not too long ago, there was a gentleman of our world who put on in his consciousness his best suit, shined his shoes accordingly, did his hair in a way that his wife would remember, and stood there with daisies, nothing special within the flowers. But he said, I picked them for her. She's scared. And then all of a sudden you heard, oh my God. And you heard him say, my darling, what took you so long? He gave her flowers and said, will you marry me again? 'Cause death parted, and now it has returned you to me. Let us wander in the fields of this world and I will never leave you again. We stood and we cheered. We stood and we smiled. But then we were reminded that the happiness that we experience is the sadness of your world. And we are called to duty, to comfort those who are mourning. And that is why when it was asked, we listen to the mourner. And as they sleep, we cradle them, so that when they wake with the understanding that life is everlasting. So, my friends, we have traveled much, and we have shared with thoughts. Where will you go now? Will you go to bed this night, resting, knowing that there is something beyond the curtain of death? But then, please, would you consider the countries of your world that are fearing the night? Would you send their thoughts of positivity and aid our world, bringing a soothing peace, so that when they wake in the morn, they will have the strength and the knowledge of how to walk through the days ahead upon a path that can lead to peace, not to war. Good day to you, my friends.
Good day, Eric. Thank you very, very much.
Allow him to return to you in the natural state.
Okay, thank you.
Yeah. Yeah.
Okay, as we're waiting for Scott to be fully back with us, just some announcements. First of all, thank you from the bottom of our hearts for being here today and participating. It means more than you could ever know. Maybe someday we'll find out just what happens on the other side and how they use it, but keep it up, okay? Also, if you're interested in this world of spiritual healing, we're doing a 5-hour class tomorrow. If it's not too late to join, if you like, with our great tutors, Phil and Carrie. On Sunday, we do our free Sunday gathering, which is a very special online service, complete with prayer and healing and music and an address, and also included is the medium demonstration. So it's wonderful. On Monday, we are together with Scott again. Over the next 4 Mondays, we will be in a class called Trance and the Altered States. It's a beautiful opportunity to find out about what he does here and also about the unseen world that is around us. We spend much of our time together with our eyes closed and learning to blend with that unseen world. And then next week, we're back on Friday again for what we just did. Always different, but always filled with love. You can find details for everything coming up at wedon'tdie.com and then just click on the store or the calendar button. All righty. So I'd like to turn it over to Scott for some words, closing words. Any words? And thank you,
Thank
Scott.
you. And thank you to everyone who has come to this place. Those who have been with me quite often know that just recently I've been getting thoughts that lead to a connection or a reading to someone. Now, this is a bit jumbled, so please bear with me, that I have someone who's talking about someone who has lost a charm from either a Pandora bracelet or a charm bracelet. And it's quite upsetting for this person. And a voice from the other world, as I was drawing back, said to me to say to the person, it's in the house, it has fallen and has been knocked underneath, and I can't work out if it's the sofa or the sideboard, but if you stick a stocking on the end of a hoover and put it under the things, it will suck the pendant but won't suck it into the hoover. But someone has as I came back, said that someone has lost a charm from either a Pandora bracelet or a charm bracelet. And the voice that is speaking to me about this is connected to Mother, and Mother was poorly. Mother was poorly, and Mother would have had treatment and gone for treatment and possibly stayed overnight to have treatment. And there was appointments which were building up, but she was unwell to get there and passes. She has a love of daffodils. And also she shows me daffodils which had cancer. So she would have had cancer with this as well. She also just shared with me there was a horseshoe on the wall, either by the door or representation to this. She's a very loving lady and talks about her girl and her girls, which is strange because she said my girl and girls. So either there's grandchildren there, but it seems to come in quite closely. Now, it's not a strong connection, and I don't think we're going to have a conversation, you and I, because I know that we are live on other aspects as well. But please, those who are listening and knows about this Pandora or charm bracelet that has got a missing charm, it's underneath either the sofa or the sideboard, and you can get it by sticking a stocking on the end of the Hoover extension and going underneath it, because I don't feel I can get my hand fully, and I don't think I've got the strength to lift it. So stick that underneath it, because your mother was very resourceful in solving problems. That if you had a scratch in the wood, she would say, get a hazelnut and put it over the top. It will take out the scratch. And the same when you've got scratches on your pans where you have used metal instruments when you should have used plastic. Oh, I feel like Martha Stewart here, but she's very funny, very that, but she said that the sickness went through her, but she's perfect now, and she needs to let her know. And I do feel there's a birthday coming up, so she wants to give that person a little birthday kiss. But she's more concerned about the bracelet, because the bracelet would have had meaning, and she wants to make sure that you're smiling again. So wherever you are, my little flower, take that. For you and for your children as well. And I got a very strong smell of bleach, so she must have loved bleach in the place, because I can smell bleach even on my hands. So she's very much of a worker. I think she takes after Darren. Darren just throws bleach at everything and off it goes. So thank you so much for supporting the work. Thank you so much for you being generous with your time, and those who have donated, that's very kind of you. And thank you for being my friend on Facebook as well as on Zoom. And thank you to Sandra for putting this all on and working very, very hard to get everything sorted.
Thank you, Scott. And thank you to those that work with you. And this is a big part of my week, so I love it. Love you. And everyone, thank you so much for joining us. If you can understand that information about the bracelet, and great advice from that woman too. about the nylon on the Hoover and everything else, the hazelnut, but please be in touch. Okay. And we thank you again from the bottom of our heart. Sign up next week. Come with us. WeDon'tDie.com. And yeah, thanks everyone. Bye. Hi, Scott. That was really wonderful.